Hey everybody, welcome to Around the Twist, episode 264. It's September 7th, 2016. How have you been? Sorry, I was sitting on my phone. Let's get rid of that. It's been a bit of a week. Seems to be the theme lately, but here I am. I actually have content for you. I feel like I've been slacking a little bit in the knitting arena, so we're back in the basement. Hubby is home and he is napping upstairs because of the whole fiasco with couch sectional that I told you about a couple weeks ago. There is no couch down here in the basement now long enough for him to stretch out on. It's just a little bitty love seat, and he's a bit longer than that. And he can curl up on it, but it's not comfortable for napping or sleeping or anything. So he's upstairs. We're down here. I'm hopeful. Yeah, we'll see. Work with me on this. We'll be upstairs or downstairs depending on the week coming up, because there has been, developments, which I'm not going to get into this week because we're waiting to see how stuff pans out. So, how's that for enigmatic? There you go. Okay, first thing, what's been on my needles? I managed, basically yesterday, to finish the entire Jane hat number 3. Just basically, all I had left to do was thread the yellow through the top. I wove in all the ends on the inside. Everything. See, I'll turn it inside out for you. Everything's woven in, even at my join. I picked up and knit the ear flaps. So actually, that's the back of the hat there. Picked up, knit the ear flaps. All that's left to do is make a big old, probably 3-inch pom-pom and whack it on the top. And this will be ready to go to take to our head pharmacist at work. I do need, before I whack the pom-pom on, I am going to wash this hat, get the yarn to relax a little bit, soften up a little bit. I've been using the Jane Cobb hat pattern by Heather Hill, and this is Cascade 220. The orange is number 7824. The yellow is 7827, and the red is 8414, and those are all held doubled. I'm knitting it up on I knit it up on a US 10.5, which is a 6.5 millimeter needle. So that's done. It's nice and thick and squishy, and I hope he loves it. Really hope he loves it, because I'm not making him another one. The first 2 of these that I made, I actually took made the tassel things at the end of the ear flaps a little bit longer, and I braided them. I didn't feel like doing that yesterday, so I did a more traditional. What did I do there? Oh, I know what I did. I did the more traditional, just loose strands hanging from the bottom of the ear flaps. So I didn't weave in all the ends. This is the yarn I used to close the top center of the hat. I left that so I can also use that to tie on, help secure the pom-pom when I get that done. However, I do not have a pom-pom maker that big. I forgot that the last ones that I made a ghetto pom-pom maker, and just did a couple circles of cardboard and did it that way. And it was a pain in the butt because you can't open a circle of cardboard to just wrap the yarn around like you can with like the Clover pom-pom makers. So I was actually having to take lengths, thread it on a darning needle, and like weave it through the center of this giant donut thing. It took forever. And I'm not going to do it that way again. I'm going to find a large pom-pom maker and make it that way. So it might be a little while before his hat is done and to him, but it will be done. So that was the first thing. Hat's done. Yay! Second thing, the other thing that I have really, really been working on is my I'm a Rockstar socks. Sock, singular. I'm only one into it. So the sock blank is from the lovely Gail's Art. I've got her little thing. Here we go. Gail's Art. It is her single sock blank. So it's only one strand all the way through. So these will be fraternal socks, not identical And it's a superwash merino and nylon 75-25 blend. The colorway is Rockstar Rainbow. I have already taken the stars off the other end. So those are all, straighten this out a little bit for you. I actually tried this on this morning to see how much further I had to go. So 72 stitch vanilla sock with 1x1 rib at the top on, I did a heel flap this time with a gusset on a US 1, a 2.25 millimeter needle. I'm all the way down, I'm into the green. You can see all those blips of pinks and purples coming down through. That was the stars where she stenciled those on. So now the rest of the sock will probably be green into more yellow and maybe even a hint of the orange on the toe. I have about 1.5 inches left to go on the sock before it's, before it's ready for me to put the toe on. So I've got a little ways to go, but I want to make sure these are nice and cozy and fit well because they're for me. I've had a few blowouts of socks at work and I need to start replenishing the sock drawer. And my drawer for socks, I don't know how many deep, I cram as many deep as I can, just folded over at the heel. So pair together and then fold them over. I don't turn them inside out or anything because I don't like how it stretches them before I wear them. And then I just stack them upright. So this way, boom, 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 back in the drawer. And I can fit 4 rows in my sock drawer. And right now with everything clean, nothing is in the wash, I have 3.5. So I've lost quite a few pairs. I didn't realize I'd had that many blowouts lately, but here I'd been thinking, oh my gosh, I need to make socks for everybody else. I can't make them for me. I don't have room in my sock drawer. And I have all kinds of room in my sock drawer. What am I talking about? I don't even know. I'm just, forget it. So those are the 2 main things. And then last night I started a new project. Yesterday I just saw online through Plurk, through Facebook, through a couple of other places that Megan of the Cyborgs Craft Room, who was in one of our indie yarn dyers, passed away last Saturday. So, I can't remember her name now. Oh, the owners of Bird Leg Bags. She started a knit-along on Instagram and I think over on the Ravelry group as well, called, the hashtag is for Megan, K-A-L, so it's FORMAEGAN, K-A-L. And it's just a craft along. There are no prizes involved with it. It's just basically reflection, knitting with the yarn from Cyborg's Craft Room and reflecting on a life that was taken too soon from us. So I went through my stash. I could have sworn I had at least 2 skeins of Cyborg's Craft Room yarn. I don't. I have 1. So I pulled that out, wound it up yesterday. I was had some time away from the twins where I could wind yarn. And my 1 skein is her Asocolate base. So Cyborg's Craft Room, she basically based it off of the Borg from Star Trek. If you're not a Star Trek person, it's, I guess, a collective consciousness that strives for perfection. They draw from all different races throughout the galaxy, all different beings, and have a hive mind, and so all of her stuff is based off of that, including her little icon isn't the right word. Banner? Her label, yeah. So her base is Asocolate, which is based off of the Borg, which is assimilate. They must assimilate everything to reach perfection. And it's her 75-25 superwash merino and nylon blend. It's a fingering weight yarn. There's 463 yards in the skein. And the colorway is Ain't No Party Like a Cyborg Party. So, and this is a hot mess. I purchased this at SSK 2015 because in the skein, it kind of looks, it doesn't look the way I imagined it in the ball, but in the skein, it reminded me very much of Funfetti cake. And I told her that, and she kind of looked at me funny. I'm like, I love Funfetti cake growing up, so this is perfect. So there it is, balled up. And then I was struck with, what am I going to do with this? Didn't want socks out of it. I want something that's going to be more lasting, not something I'm going to walk holes in. It is a very thin yarn. So I decided to do a shawlette, and went through my Ravelry library looking for something that would let this crazy yarn speak for itself and a wonderful dyer's yarn be seen. I decided to do the Trillium, excuse me. Oh my gosh, I think that's wrong. That's totally wrong. No, it's not wrong. Trillium? I'm sorry, I'm looking it up on the computer now. I can't remember. It's a Martina Behm pattern. It's over on my project page. Trillian. Trillian by Martina Behm. It's one of her long asymmetrical triangle shawls that she released. The first one she had done was Hitchhiker. And Lintilla, Trillium, and I think Magrathea was the fourth one. And it was a series based off of Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'm sorry, I'm umming a lot today. So I started this last night while hubby has restarted playing Witcher 3 at a harder level. So he's working his way through. He's at the very beginning, which I didn't get to see him play before. Because when he started playing it, I was still working nights, so he'd come home from work and play it while I was at work. So this is the little baby beginnings of the shawl that I have. The main body of the shawl is just garter stitch, which will let the yarn sing, but then it has this little net edging to it. And it's a 2-row repeat. There are setup rows and then a 2-row repeat, and it took me probably 4 or 5 repeats before I went, okay, I don't have to look at the pattern anymore. So if you're looking for something a little more involved than some of the more basic shawl patterns, including my own, although I did contemplate doing the progression shawl pattern for this as well, but I decided to try something different. I'm knitting it up using I think the pattern calls for a US 2 or 2.5. I'm using a US 3. I want it a little bit looser, and that's a 3.25 millimeter needle. And I think we're going to have a co-host here shortly. I hear little baby feet tearing down the hallway and coming down the stairs. And who is going to be joining me? It's a Gabe, who did not nap at all. Young man, hi. Come here. So if you'd like to join in, the hashtag again is for Megan, KALFORMAEGANKAL. And you can hashtag it over on Instagram, on Ravelry, wherever you post it. Oh, are you giving Mickey kisses? Can you look right at that red dot and wave and say hi? Hi. That's all Mommy's viewers.
See that red up there?
Yeah, the red dot. That's all of them. They're watching us.
That's you, Mom.
Yeah, they're watching you and me. Okay?
Over to you.
Yeah, over to you. I wish I had someone I could pass off to right now. So that's everything I've actually been working on this week. I did do a little bit of stitching. Who's down there?
That's Phoebe.
Yep, that's Phoebe down underneath the chair. I did a little bit of cross stitching this week. Let me get that. This is going to be harder now that he's in the lap, but we'll make it work. Oh no. Sorry, so normally my cross stitch, my Once Upon a Time sampler, I store like the scissors, the thread, everything, just sitting on top, and then I take and flip this over the top to kind of contain it, and I have it back in our bedroom. I went to move stuff around this morning, and this was flipped back, this was thrown into a different spot, and my needle minder was missing off of it. I found the needle minder. I just realized there's no needle on the needle minder, so I'm sure my foot will find that at some future point. Please don't push that, baby. At some future point. So great. Can't wait for that to happen and when I get up to use the bathroom at 3 in the morning. Okay. So, you see what mommy's working on? What is that?
What's this?
Oh, that's the stitch minder that either you or your sister moved. I'm guessing this one.
He's taking a nap.
Yeah, she's taking a nap, just like you're supposed to be. So, still working on November. I did, this week, manage to finish the piece. Are you going to get down?
Yeah.
Okay, get down. Be careful. Okay. I managed to finish the piece of pie over here. I did the big leaf, all the little leaves. Let's see, there's one there, one there, one there, that were the same color as the two colors of the pie filling. And then I did the snow on the rooftop, the little snowflakes around the cottage, and the whites of the wolf's eyes. And, oh, and Little Red Riding Hood's white dress, and there's a couple of little, I don't know if they're supposed to be snowflakes or sparkles. I'm guessing snowflakes since it's snowing around the cottage, but we'll see. Whatever I decide. Oh, thank you for closing that. You're so good at closing doors, Gabe. So that's everything for Pokey Things. I did do a teeny little bit, and by teeny little bit, no, leave Mommy's wheel alone. Yeah, because I found that bit off of it again, because you've been playing arts and crafts, haven't you?
Don't forget.
Yeah, the arts and crafts are over there. You stay out of Mommy's craft room, young man. I think we skipped the terrible twos and we went straight into three-nager, even though they haven't turned 3 yet, because the last few days have been trying. Leave the guitars alone.
So what next, Mama?
Mommy's gonna finish recording.
Oh.
Oh.
That's you, Mama.
Yeah. You gonna play? Quietly? Shh. Yeah, come here. Show them how can you be quiet? Can you show them? Can you go shh? Shh. Okay, you go over there. Be quiet while Mommy finishes, okay? Okay. We'll see how long this lasts. So yeah. Various and sundry. So upcoming stuff. I'm sure you'll see him tearing around in the background. My mom helped me, and I think I said last week, I got all the measurements for Gabe and for Tara, and then she also helped double check my math for me before she left. So the swatch that I did, I don't even remember if I threw it back in here. I don't think I did. It's upstairs. So the swatch I did 3 sizes of needle. I did a 6, a 7, and an 8. When I measured them, the 7 came out to exactly, what did you find?
I found out this was.
You found the drop spindle that you got up at Estes? The 7 came out, so the 6 came out to 5 1/4 stitches over 1 inch. The 7 was a 5 stitches over 1 inch, and the 8 was 4.8 stitches over 1 inch. Do not put that in there. Don't stick things in the electrical outlets, young man. Although natural selection. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So I chose the US 7 just because that made the math a lot easier. Tara's chest is currently at 22 1/4 inches. The pattern says to do at least 2 inches of positive ease. I decided to go up to 3 inches of positive ease. And so basically I did my math using the numbers for using a US 7. That worked out when I multiplied how many stitches around it was going to need to be to get that positive ease, because I wanted to have a couple of years, or at least 2 winters worth of wear out of this thing. The cast on number, because remember, I'm using a worsted weight, not a sport weight like the pattern calls for. So she's in 4T, moving up to 5T clothes soon. I'm casting on the 9-month size. Trust me, the numbers work out. But I'm doing the 6-year size for length. So I went through the pattern on my iPad. I highlighted all the correct numbers, or at least please God, let them be the correct numbers for everything that I need. And I am ready to cast on. I sat down here yesterday. I had a winding session. all the yarn that was wound previously is wound again, so I wound 2 skeins of gray and 1 of the multicolor, or the variegated.
I need to
This one?
touch.
What are you touching?
Um,
You do not need to touch Mommy's wheel.
no.
No, play with your drop spindle.
I'll fix it.
Okay, you fix your drop spindle. No, not Mommy's wheel.
I'll fix that web.
We'll get to why he can't touch the wheel anymore in a minute. So I'm ready to cast on. I just haven't done it yet because it's like, oh my gosh, what else can go wrong with this sweater? I can be completely wrong on my math, but I checked it, I double checked it, my mom double checked it for me. So, I don't know. We'll see how this goes. If it doesn't work, I'm just gonna take everything out back and just torch it, and I'll get new yarn. Oh, it's caramel banana coffee today, and I'm kind of swilling it fast because it's cooler down in the basement. It's cooling off rather quickly. So, we do have some questions on any questions. Sorry, I pulled them up on the big computer since we're down here. Okay, first one is from Sweet Absinthe, and Karen, I've watched you almost from the beginning of Round the Twist. Ooh, I'm sorry, I'm going to move the angle of the camera here a little. Watch you almost from the beginning of Round the Twist and love your show. I saw how much you loved your bee, so I bought a queen bee last summer. I can spin on the next to highest ratio, 1:18, no problem, but when I set it to the 1:30 ratio, I have enormous trouble getting it to spin consistently in one direction. It's been a year now, and the 1:30 ratio is still giving me issues. Spinolution's customer service is not so forthcoming when I ask them for help. I posted on their page on Facebook, and I hear crickets. The only comments I get are from people like me who would also like an answer. I know you have an original bee, and you never seem to have trouble. What ratio do you spin on, and was there a break-in period? Thanks for listening, Christine. And she edited. She did get the issue fixed. Michael Polly from Spinolution sent her a King Bee lower drive band, and now the 1:30 ratio spins with no issues. So happy. So if anyone has a queen bee with a 1:30 ratio issue, that may help. So my bee, I have not upgraded. You can send these back in and have them upgraded up to a queen bee, I believe. I'm not sure about a king bee, but that's starting to stretch and crack. Ooh, that's probably not good. Okay, so my bee. I've got I've got it set to the, I believe it's 27.5:1 ratio, and it's where I'm comfortable. Please stop. Please don't bang that, Gabe. Thank you. It's where I'm comfortable spinning. So the bee has 2 drive bands. There's one, obviously this one here, that comes up and over the flyer, and there's 3 different spots you can settle it in. Here, one further down, and then the one I have it on in the back. Then that comes down around this wheel over here, and that's what drives the flyer. Then there's a lower drive band. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. So it comes, there are 2 places it can sit on the big drive wheel, and I have it on the smaller one, and then on the other wheel there's 2 places as well. So the combination that I have with it on the smallest here, the smallest here, and the smallest on the back of this one is a 27.5:1, which I think is as high as the bee, the original bee, goes. The only issue that I had with this, I didn't have any issues with it spinning. The only issue I had was, okay, again, interesting. This right here, there is a screw behind it. It travels up and down about 1.5 inch long slot, and that's why when you're doing this, what makes the wheels go round. Anyway, I started to hear a grinding noise a little ways into that, and if you've been listening since the very beginning, I probably went over this when I got the wheel. That screw had actually come undone, like was starting to come loose, and it was gouging the wood, like where you would insert a Phillips head screwdriver, the rounded top part of the screw head. it was actually like rubbing against the wood, and when I disassembled that part of the wheel after I looked online and found a YouTube video showing me how to do this, I did not do this on my own. That was scary because this was an expensive wheel. A pile of like sawdust fell out at me. It had actually like gouged the wood that much. And the solution was tighten that screw down, and then that channel that piece travels up and down, you take clear nail polish, like a nail polish top coat, and you coat the inside of that channel with the clear nail polish. And I think I did 2 coats of it, made sure it was completely dry, put it all back together. And it worked. It's fixed it. I haven't had to do a thing to this wheel since. I haven't done any oiling, nothing. That's the beauty of this. This wheel needs no oil. I love it. I love it so much. Makes it a great travel wheel because you don't have to tote a bottle of oil with you everywhere you go. So that's the only real issue, Christine, that I had with mine. But I'm glad you found a solution for your Queen Bee, and for anyone that has a Queen Bee and is having that same issue, contact Spinolution so you can get the same fix that Christine got. One more, and then we'll call this good. This one is from April Showers. She said, "Hi Karen, this isn't yarn or even fiber related, so you can skip it if you don't think it's appropriate. You mentioned your makeup on the most recent podcast, which was from the beginning of August, about a month ago. And I've always been impressed with how nice and natural it looks. Could you share what you use? I work from home, so I don't usually wear it, but have been getting more interested lately. Thanks." So, Laura. Sorry, I don't like addressing people by their Rabbitars names. I know some people prefer it, but Laura, hi. I'm going to preface this with what makeup works for me won't necessarily work for everyone, but I'll tell you what I use. I'm very much a minimalist with stuff. I do pile on more for the show. I didn't today, mainly because I knew someone was going to be waking up early because he has been napping very poorly lately. All of my makeup, minus my brushes that I have like 3, fit in this little bag that I have had since high school. So, and even what's in here, I honestly need to clean some stuff out. So, wash, make sure your face is clean, moisturize, blah, blah, blah. Then, what I use for foundation, it's a powder makeup from Clinique called their Almost Powder Makeup Broad Spectrum. The thing I like with Clinique is, I use several of their products, but the thing I like most about them, if you can find them at most like larger department stores. I know the Macy's here carries it. They have the makeup counters, like when you go into a JCPenney or a Sears or a Von Maur, there's usually a Clinique counter somewhere at one of those makeup counter stores. You can go in there, the person behind the counter will help you. If you don't know, you're like, I really like this, I don't like to wear a liquid foundation, I prefer to do a powder. They'll work with you. They are fabulous at this. They won't try to oversell you on stuff, which I've experienced at some other makeup counters. And they will always make sure that especially foundation, matches your skin tone. Mine, I use the O2 Neutral Fair. For me, I'm fairly pale. This is not the palest they go, though. My mom had picked some up for me, and she had thought that she and I were the same color, so she had given me one point, and I kept looking at myself for like a couple weeks going, this looks really orange, like really orange. And I went into the Clinique counter back in Omaha and was like, I really need to switch this out. And this is the beauty of Clinique, because Clinique makeup's it's not the most expensive makeup out there. It's also not the cheapest. But you get the wrong color, something doesn't look right, it makes your skin break out, whatever. You take it back to them, used. Like, it was probably as used as this one is. You could see some of the tin at the bottom like this. And went, you know what, this is just, it's looking way too orange on me. I love the makeup, but I think my mom got the wrong color. And they go, oh, come over here. They sat me down in a chair and they tried different shades on me, and they're like, okay, so this is the one you did, this is one darker, okay, yeah, that's way too orange, this is one lighter, oh, that one disappears, yeah, the one you were using is too orange. They switched it out. They took my used one back and gave me a brand new compact of makeup. So love them for that. I use their I think it's called Moisture Surge moisturizer, which for out here in Colorado has been a godsend. And even back in Nebraska in the winter where it really dries out, loved it. Absolutely loved their moisturizer. I also use their Quick Liner for eyes that has a smudger at the other end. I have two different colors that I wear. Is the other one in here or did I leave it? No, it's in here. I use their dark chocolate, and then usually when I'm recording I use the black brown, which is what I have on now. A little bit darker, shows up better on the show, but for day to day I like the dark chocolate. Mascara, I use just CoverGirl Lash Blast Fusion. I've tried the Clinique mascara. I don't care for it. Just personal preference. And then I've got several different Clinique eyeshadow palettes, along with a Mirabella, just standard neutral browns. And then the only other things that I have left, I can't tell you how long I've had this, some CoverGirl blush, and I know I use more of a pink, but that's me. Find something that works for you. And then I use the other nice thing about shopping at Clinique, certain times a year they have gift bags, and if you go and spend like more than $30 at the counter, which is very easy to do, you get a gift bag, which includes tons of full-size samples of stuff. Please don't close that. Thank you. My lipstick that I use when I record, or like if I know I'm going somewhere or having pictures, I never wear this for work every day. It's called Tenderheart. It looks very brown, but it's actually very neutral and works really well for me. And I've seen tons of people use this, and it looks good on a lot of different skin tones. So makeup wise, that's what I do. Day to day, honestly, I do powder, eyeliner, mascara, blush, done. Lip gloss, which is usually one of the EOS lip balms that goes everywhere with me. The show, or if I'm getting really dressed up for a date night or for a wedding, or like we had family pictures done this last Saturday, then I do a lot more with my eyes, maybe a little heavier on the blush, and I definitely wear lipstick for that. So there you go. That's what I use. I try to keep it like a herd of young elephants. I try to keep it pretty natural day to day. In fact, a lot of times if I'm not leaving the house, I don't even put anything on. If I'm even going to leave the house to go for a grocery run or something, sometimes all I'll throw on is mascara, maybe. But there you go. Laura, I hope that answers some of your questions. Hopefully it helps. I know it's not really fiber related, but there you go. Me, podcasting. And like I talked about last week with the question about thinking about when you're starting a podcast, making sure that your features can be seen, your eyes, your lips, making sure your face doesn't blend into one thing. I can thank my drama teachers for that, and my color guard instructors. Granted, that the makeup I used on stage and for color guard was very drag-ish. It was very, very heavy, but I've found, at least for this, a comfortable middle ground, I think. And thank you very much for the compliment that it looks nice and natural, because there are some days I'm just like, oh God, nothing's gonna help this. So, on that note, we're gonna end this. I'm gonna finish my coffee, corral my son, and I will see you all next week. Until then, happy knitting.